Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we got something completely different for you, and we got Halloween right around the corner. I figured it would be a great idea to upload a game that was kind of themed around it, and I think we got ourselves a good one on our hands today. This is Pumpkin Jack. Now first, I want to thank Head Up for sponsoring this video, and if you guys are interested in this game at all, go ahead, click the link in the description, and it'll take you right to it. So for this video, I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of a review at the start so you can kind of understand the basic premise, and then get into some gameplay at the end. So what exactly is Pumpkin Jack? Well, I am going to tell you right now. This game is a spooky, scary 3D platformer in which you embody Jack, who is the mythical Pumpkin Lord. So what makes this game actually good? Because he's got a shotgun! But more seriously, you'll overcome tight platforming sections, solve riddles, and run for your life, escaping dangerous situations. You encounter a wide variety of foes and bosses waiting to get hit by Jack's varied arsenal of weaponry, like his shotgun. But perhaps the craziest thing about this entire game is it was created by just one developer. Yeah, one. Literally one. I have trouble just getting dressed in the morning, so I couldn't even imagine developing a game by myself. And I'm not just saying this because this is a sponsored video, but the game looks, plays, and functions a whole lot better than a lot of games I have played that have been developed by major studios. I played through the entire game, didn't encounter a single bug. Not one. That, in my opinion, is pretty freaking crazy. The simplicity of the controls made the game super easy to pick up. You have a button to jump, you got one to attack, dodge, interact, open your inventory, and to send out your crow. That's it. And to me, the game had like a similar gameplay to things like Rayman, Ori, Hollow Knight, and Spyro. I would break the game kind of up into like 4 parts. So you have your platforming exploring sections, you have puzzles and riddles.
I like it, Kudgy.
Your side scrollers, and then your boss fights. So each of them also has like a unique experience depending what area of the game you're in. But what really made the game fun, honestly, were the characters. Each of them had their own little personality, which was often, you know, pretty snarky, and a sense of humor, which made the game very enjoyable despite having any actual dialogue. It made it just a lot of fun. Here are just a couple of my favorite interactions and lines from the games that actually just made me chuckle.
So no head?
I was also a very big fan of the narration cinematics in between each level that essentially kind of tells you a story of what you just accomplished in the game. The voice acting was very good, and it really helped add a little bit of sense of immersion to the game. I do wish the game was a little bit longer because I was actually really enjoying myself while playing it, but it only took me about 4 hours to complete. Also, the game isn't like super difficult, and I didn't find myself dying in combat that much. It was more so for me being an absolute idiot and doing things like, you know, running my horse into a cliff, you know, getting crushed by a tree, or failing the actual first jump in the game. But in this game, even in death comes a little bit of humor, as the game has a running death counter and little snarky remarks that make you feel like an absolute idiot for falling off of that log. With that being said, I hope that all of you decide to pick up this game and play it. For one developer, this is absolutely insane. The game from start to finish is very silly, but it's high-octane experience that I would honestly play again. And my favorite part was the credits. And that's probably got you thinking, well, Tony, usually the credits are after the entire game is completed. But it's because the entire credits is actually documented with screenshots and captions of how the game progressed throughout its development phase. I actually really loved seeing how the game looked at its start from 2016, and then seeing all of the progress updates, and then actually seeing this finished product here in 2020 and being able to play it, I thought was really fucking cool. So that being said, everybody, we're gonna go ahead, get into a little bit of gameplay, show off some of the mechanics in there, the weaponry, and then probably do one of my favorite boss fights that's actually in the game. All right, everybody, so here we are in probably like my favorite level in the game, which is like it's like a war zone where you're actually fighting like humans and stuff. There's some really cool stuff in here. Like I said, I'm going to show you some of the weaponry and some of like the mechanics, then fight the boss at the end. This is the obviously my favorite, which is a shotgun. I got a cowboy skin, which you can actually purchase skins from the merchant, which is pretty cool to say. And it's actual skins like of people. He makes sure that you know that. And another thing right before we get in here is that the soundtrack in this game is absolutely incredible. I know you can actually purchase the soundtrack separately, so if you're like very interested in doing that, you can do it as well. All right, so our objective now is we gotta build a moat to cross across the bridge. And so we got to find ourselves little logs, which are indicated from the green lights. Like I said, the game isn't like super challenging in the ways of its like platforming or enemies, but it's still like very fun to play regardless, and still has a little bit of challenge to it. All right, we're platforming over. We got ourselves a second piece of wood. You'll love to see it. We got to get our third one over there, and then the fourth one's just around the corner. There's a trebuchet as well. Got to watch out for those. All right, we got our third piece of wood, and then we just go around this corner. We get ourselves the fourth piece of wood, and then we can build ourselves, you know, just a very modest little bridge to get, or little device to get across. All right, here we go. 4 pieces of wood. We should be able to build something pretty small, like I said, but actually, it's just going to be a massive tower instead. All right, so now we can actually sheath the shotgun. So the shotgun has actually like a roll mechanic where after you roll you get to blast them. You can jump attack with most of your stuff as well. Each like weapon has its own moveset, but I just found the shotgun was very fun just for doing this. And if you see on the screen like L1, that means I can throw my crow. It like helps like stagger enemies and like do damage and stuff. All right, well, I brought out the shovel. It's like the literal first weapon that you get in the game, but it's a shovel, and it's kind of disrespectful to hit people with as well. Right now we have snipers going after us, which is not very cool. I actually got hit by one, which is not not the objective. Then we also have ourselves a talking magical sword. It has a little bit of humor of its own, but it has a cool moveset, lets you get some range in there. But there's also some really like cool stuff that you can do with the jump attack as well once people get in there. And like the objective here is like push minecarts, so there's like a little bit of a puzzle aspect to where we have to get this to blow up the actual person on like the big gun. See, I'll hit this guy with the jump. I'll hit this guy with the jump attack. It's just a massive like magic blast circle. And here we also have one of the puzzle riddle aspects. You're just a pumpkin head in this one. So this one is basically like a whack-a-mole. It's not too difficult. You just have to hit these things and have the little thing in the middle there reach the top. So you just have to be, I guess, a little quick and just, yeah, basically make it hit it to the top, and it basically makes a little bridge turnaround for you. And then, again, like I mentioned in the actual, like, little review part of the video, there's also side-scrollers in this game to an extent, so this one is in the form of, like, a kart race. It's kind of funny. These guys are just, like, really mad about Jerry getting the good jobs, and then they are like, oh, wait, we have to actually do stuff. So you can run into them. Your cart takes, like, no damage, and you can just, like, run them off the road to make them slower and stuff. It's pretty entertaining, to be honest. Now, this would be another one of our side-scrollers. I think this is, like, one of the only, like, consistent ones that's in the game where you actually are on a boat, and it does, like, different things, such as the boat decides to do a barrel roll for some reason, which makes no sense, physically. And there's different things, like the boat phases through stuff, so you have to, like, go over different obstacles and everything, and it makes it pretty nice. And then, for some reason, you know, the tree, instead of turning, we just go to a different boat, because, logically speaking, just get another one. And this is probably my favorite part of having the shotgun, is just, like, all these ghosts that come after you. You just blast them after barrel rolling. It's so fun. So once you've gone ahead and actually done everything in there, there's a bunch more that I actually didn't show than what you actually get to explore and everything. I want you guys to kind of figure that out for yourself. You end up fighting the boss, and this one's name is Door, which I think is a great name. It was probably one of my more enjoyable bosses. You'll find out in this game, too, that there's like a lot of bosses that aren't really like normal games where you actually just damage the boss, get away from their attacks. These ones have a little bit more of a puzzle aspect to it, where you have to like get away from certain attacks. You have to like maybe throw bombs into them. You can't beat them by conventional means. As you can see, he like also spawns a tower, so the main like I guess objective of this boss is to get him to smack that tower and end up exploding and hurting himself, because you know explosions end up hurting him even though he's an absolute unit. And the cool thing about this game just in general is the fact that pretty much all the weapons you get in the game come from the boss battle. So once you've defeated a boss, you end up getting a new weapon, and you can see they have a variety of attacks. He was doing that one little slam that you actually have to jump over the blast. This one you have to roll away from the actual little missiles coming down. This one the floor is lava and he throws these little bombs at you. Got to make sure you don't get hit by them by staying on the little platforms. And it's kind of like in a little phase section as well. So once you've kind of gone through his first phase, you then have a little bit of the section of floor that is not able to be used, and if you actually run on it, you take damage. So it's really, really cool, so you just have to, like, dodge out of things like this. I think they're pretty fun and intuitive boss battles. And then, once you've actually done it a few more times, you end up beating them, and then you claim victory, which is pretty sick. So this was just a kind of little review, plus a little gameplay session, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what Pumpkin Jack is all about. Again, right before we end off, I want to thank Head Up for sponsoring this video. I am greatly, greatly appreciative towards them. And if you're interested in the game yourself, go ahead, take a look at the link link in the description. Click on it, it'll take you right to the Steam page. It's a very, very fun game. I honestly do recommend it, if it's not for merely the fact that Jack has just some absolute banging dance moves. For, you know, being developed by one person, it's absolutely incredible, and I recommend you guys giving it a try. All right, thanks guys, take care, peace.